I think if they ever made, if there was ever a movie made about our podcast, Derek, it would be entitled I Ready Pod and the Curse of the Weak Bladders. What do you think?
Pepsi Max Tea and Urinals. That's the episode name.
Okay. I like that.
Ah, Tetley.
We've got a sponsorship, yeah.
Between Pepsi Max and Tetley, we'll have it covered. No, fantastic. So fantastic. No, it's not fantastic. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at something else.
You mean my speech was fantastic, Derek? Is that what you're trying to say?
Very much. I'm shamed. You can't. I can't beat that speech there. Yeah, absolutely. It's just.
Oh, you still there?
I'll start that one again. I was just giving you silence.
Right, okay. You were in awe.
Pretty much.
My speech, Derek. That's what it was. Aye. First time ever.
First time somebody's been in awe of you, anyway.
Exactly. Tell me about it.
That was quite harsh there, sorry. Anyway, right, where was I? Yeah, I couldn't disagree. No, I couldn't disagree more. That's wrong. That's fuck's sake.
So you're the Ashley Backer, that bastard. It's you that's spreading on this. Aye, you and fucking Tom English. I knew it.
At least we've got outtakes now. That's the main thing. Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the I Ready podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek, along with my co-host Dave.
Good evening, Derek. It's back to just me and you this week. No special guests.
No, just me and you, and back to the usual grind here. So we'll try and make it as good as the last one anyway.
Yeah, we'll certainly try.
Yep. So there's a few games to cover as usual with us. Obviously, we had a wee bit of a delay with the Fraserburgh game because it was postponed, but we've got a few signings to go over first. So we'll go down the tunnel and onto the pitch. Right, as I said, with a few signings, we've managed to finally sign Greg Docherty from Hamilton for an undisclosed fee, rumoured to be around about £600,000 though. He brought his whole family into Oakenhowie for the parade and the sign-in, beaming smiles all round. It was a fantastic sight to see, wasn't it?
It was, Derek. It was excellent. You really feel that this guy, this is like, his ultimate dream. This is, it would be like one of us two signing for Rangers, as you say. The whole family was there. Everybody had a massive party as well. You saw that after it. So, and I actually think, Derek, this has been one of the low-key signings. I think this is going to be a fantastic signing for us. I really do. If you look at his age, the sort of position that he plays, I have watched, that certainly any time that we've played against him, he's looked absolutely, really, really quality player. And any time I've seen sports scene and stuff like that, he's certainly been sort of Hamilton's top man. So I think this will be an absolute cracker of a signing for us, Derek. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, certainly it's got all the prospects there, so we'll just need to wait and see what happens. So hope he gets his games as well, and when he does play, he does the job obviously, but we'll see how it happens.
Yeah, yep.
And also I believe it was on deadline day as well, 18-year-old under 19 Scotland and Norwich player Glenn Middleton, he signed a 2.5-year deal. It's not for the first team, it's going straight into the development squad, but from reading some tweets and comments from the Norwich fans, they're quite gutted he's left.
I don't know much about him, Derek, but obviously one for the future as well. As you say, I think a lot of people saw that we'd signed him and he was going to be, it was a first-team player type move and stuff, but no, it was confirmed that it was for the development squad. So, again, it shows that we're using their scouting system properly, Derek, and this guy's obviously highly thought of by our scouting team, so can only hope again that it turns out to be a gem, a good signing for us. But it's Scottish international, so he should know what the club's all about. I don't know what his background is, Derek, if he was a Rangers supporter or whatever, and that maybe made his decision better. But no, certainly good signs again.
Yep, I think from what they said, they were looking out for him for the last couple of years. So I just hope that it doesn't turn into a Jordan Thompson situation where he's kind of brought in with the view of developing him for the first team, and he just seems to go out and loan constantly, because that's Jordan Thompson, been here since 2015, showed a lot, promising player at Manchester United before he signed for us. So again, it's one of these wait and see things, but as you said, good that the scouting system's working.
Yep, definitely.
A couple of players went out. Ryan Hardy joins Livingston on loan till the end of the season. Again, it's a loan type of situation with him. But we all thought he was maybe ready to jump into the first team, but obviously the staff have other ideas just now. And probably the big surprising one was Danny Wilson leaving, going to Colorado in the MLS. Apparently we offered him a new deal because his contract was due in the summer. He wanted more than the club were willing to offer, so he decided to leave. I think it was a bad decision again from him. He obviously went down to Liverpool and never really got his game there. Potentially you can understand why he would have went, especially when the way he was playing at the time, but I think he was badly advised then, and I think he's been badly advised now. There's a lot of talk, the fact that he's got an American partner or whatever, American girlfriend, wife, whatever it is, and that's maybe the reason why he went over. But I don't know, he was just coming into something again with Rangers, and he's once again decided to leave.
That's the puzzling part for me, Derek, was Graham Murty, I think, saw him as his main defender, if you like. He's been the one that he's put straight into the team. He's had him playing with a few different defensive partners, and to be fair to Danny Wilson, he's been excellent, Derek, since Graham Murty's came in. He's been really, really good, so I was a bit surprised by that. I heard the things also about his family life and stuff like that. Maybe that's played a huge part in it. I don't know, maybe he's been offered silly money to go there also. I don't know, but a bit of a strange one. He's certainly not one of the guys at this present time that I would have said, oh well, I'm glad to get rid of him, because he was playing well for us. The only maybe silver lining on that one is the emergence of David Bates, who again, touch wood, I think has been absolutely sensational for us, Derek, coming back, and he's never put a foot wrong. I'm trying to find, there we go, touch wood.
I don't know what you were touching there. I hope that wasn't what I think it was.
I'm trying to be serious here as well. Your mind's in the gutter constantly, so as David Bates has been excellent, so maybe this is a great thing for him, because he's been fantastic. So but again, just a bit of a strange one, but that's it done. He's away, and we'll just have to move on from there. Yeah,
obviously there was a bit of a hatchet job article written by a certain blog, but I'm not going to get into that. Certainly all you can do is say I don't understand it. It's good luck to him, but meh. I'm not gutted he's leaving, certainly, but I'm not pleased he's leaving either. So.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a bit of a strange one, Derek, considering it has been playing well for us. But there you go.
Yep,
it's a funny old game, eh? I don't know who that was. I was trying to do.
I don't know either. You're going about my impressions there. That's why I was just trying to quickly skip over that there. And this one has been a bit of a classic. You can now add Chinese football and Chinese legal matters into the CV of Celtic fans. Morelos was subject of initially a £6.5 million bid, then an £8 million bid from a Chinese team. I'm not even going to try and pronounce their name, and we've apparently turned it down. Keridin Nitsan today fell over himself on Twitter to say that he's spoken to a source close to the Chinese club in question, who have confirmed they never put a bid in. A few hours later, he retracted it, saying that he's now confirmed that the bid was actually genuine, even down to the structure of the payments. A bit of a I don't even know where to start with that one. Celtic fans obviously try to derail it as well by even going as far as posting email addresses for staff at the Chinese club on Twitter to get them to write in. They were even going on about the Chinese teams are only allowed a certain amount of quota of foreign players in their team, etc. Going on about Rangers finances again. It was absolutely hilarious. They honestly know no bounds. The Keredin Nitsan thing was just absolutely comical as well, because quite rightly
very amateurish, Derek. Very amateurish there, and made him look like a complete fool. Really, it really did.
I mean, somebody said on Twitter, when you start from the position of complete bias against their club, then your reporting is never going to be even handed in the first place, and that's quite clearly what it was. He was saying £8 million, like a lot of Celtic fans, bearing in mind, and other clubs fans have said, £8 million, why, how the hell can they turn that down in their frail state? They're skint, and more importantly, I want to get off the other fans for a minute. The fact that we are turning down an £8 million bid for a player who, fair enough, he's the top scorer in the league just now, but certainly he's missed his fair share of chances as well. In our position, that is basically our deficit for the year, closed up. There's no deficit, there's probably an actual profit that if we ended up taking that bid. So it goes to show that the board have got extreme faith in what is going on just now, and/or there's potential a big investment coming, which is what's been rumoured. That
is what I was going to ask you there, Derek, because it's very true what you say. That's real cash, and I know I was listening to some of the guys on the We Welcome the Chase podcast that were going through the pros and cons here of selling them and not selling them, but it is true, it's hard cash there, Derek, and that is a large amount of money, which makes me think that if we were in utter dire straits like what everybody said we were, we would have been cashing in that big time. So is something happening behind the scenes that we don't know about yet? Because for that amount of money to be offered, we would be daft not to take it unless we knew that something was happening and we were going to be getting fresh investment from somewhere. So getting onto the playing side of things, Derek, I'm delighted that we've got him and we've got Cummings as well. We'll get on to, the whole, is he missing enough, a lot of chances and stuff like that later on. But I'm delighted to see him because I do think he's a special talent. He can only get better. I don't think he'll be with us for much longer. We'll be lucky to have him for another season if he keeps going the way he is. But it's encouraging for us, and it's pissing the rival fans off big time that we have turned that down, because if we had have taken it, it would have been, that's them, they're up shit creek, they need that money desperately to stay afloat and all that. So this has maybe shut quite a few people up out there, Derek, which is good also.
And what's even better is there's now been a confirmed £8 million bid, as opposed to fictitious £40 million, £20 million, then £12 million bids for Celtic player, and then it turned out it was only £3.7 million that was bid. So even if that, I don't even think there was a bid in the end. So it just goes to show, that the reporting in this country is absolutely ridiculous, and we knew that already. So none more so, Derek, than the 24 clubs, including Real Madrid, that were in for this guy that they've signed on loan as well. That, and then to be proven that the fact that this whole business, Real Madrid were desperate to buy him because of his performance against them last season while on loan in Spain, and it turns out that he never actually played against Real Madrid at all. And for our media to report that, and then I think only one paper, I think it was the Daily Star, I think it was the only people to turn around and say, Rodgers has been made to look a fool because this story is complete nonsense. They were the only paper that actually printed that story. The rest of them all went with the fact that this guy, I'm no doubting that the guys are a really good player, but why do you just say that? We've signed a quality player on loan here and that's it. Yeah. There's always so much bullshit, it's unbelievable. And again, if people don't realise what the media are like now in Scotland, they never will, after reading some of the comical statements that they've came away with over the last week.
unbelievable.
Yep. And just the last one here, we never put in a further bid for Jordan Jones, and funnily enough, after apparently Kilmarnock rating him at £1 million because that's what Norwich were going to pay for him, nobody else came in for him either. So, quite frankly, fuck them. You know, they've only done well in the last 3 months, obviously since Steve Clark came in. If, you know, depending on what happens the rest of this year, they might rue once again that chance to take 350k, because they might go for fuck all next. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm quite glad. I'm quite glad the club, you know, stuck to their guns and never put any more in for that one.
Yeah, no, spot on.
Yep. So into the games now. Obviously the game on Saturday the 20th against Fraserburgh was called off due to the snow. I think pretty much the whole of Scotland was paralysed for a few inches of snow there. I think they got it worse than us, mind you. So it meant the first game after the break was Wednesday the 24th of January. It was at home against Aberdeen. Obviously there was a Loving Cup ceremony as well before the game, and we won 2-0.
Yes.
Yep. So we lined up Fodingham, Tavernier, Martin, Bates, John, Hole, Goss, Murphy, Candias, Windass and Morelos. On the subs bench we had Anik, Cummings, Herrera, Halliday, Hodgson, Cardoso and Crancher. Obviously, as I said, the Loving Cup ceremony got done before the game, and at half time they done the video of it, and it was absolutely comical. Obviously Paul Murray done a speech beforehand explaining what the history of it was. And said, you know, gave the toast to the Queen and drank out of it and passed around the Rangers directors. And as that was happening and it was shown on the big screens, Aberdeen fans started shouting, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?" And then it got passed to their directors, and obviously toasting the same thing as well. They shut up instantly, and we all sang Rule Britannia. Absolute class moment.
Yep, brilliant. Yep. Excellent.
Now, I missed the first 15 minutes, as I said, on the reaction pod because of traffic. It was an absolute joke. I know there was a couple of issues on the railway lines, but not everybody done a snap decision, I'm going to drive tonight. So I missed the first 15 minutes. There was issues on the roads and motorways. It was an absolute joke. It was even worse. If anyone's driving on the M74, and they cut in the inside lane as you're coming off at the junction, and they nip in. Fucking bastards, I've got to say. You know, I'm the one patiently waiting in the correct lane and yous nip in. It's not happening again. I'm fucking joining yous lot. Rant over. Anyway, I've watched the game back, obviously, and this is the kind of run through of it. On the first minute, it was a header near the halfway line by that Aberdeen player, ran all the way through to our goal line without John touching it, and the linesman gave a corner. Now, this was a feature of the game. The near side linesman had an absolute nightmare of a game. He got several decisions wrong all game, and for the fact that he couldn't even see the fact that it was the Aberdeen player that headed the ball, and we never touched the ball, and he gives a bloody goal kick for it instead of a corner.
I know.
Unbelievable. Third minute, there was good build-up play. Windass had a shot on the edge of the box and hits it wide. 11th minute, corner in. It wasn't cleared. Knocked down by Martin to Windass, who hits a shot on the edge of the box. Hits off Aberdeen defender and hits the post into the path of the keeper. When I was walking to the stadium, I actually heard the roar of the crowd when looking back at it. Obviously, was that incident there.
Yeah.
19th minute was a great cross from the right by Candias, header by Morelos over the bar and wide. All he had to do was put it on target. He should have left it. He should have left it for Murphy, who was probably in a better position there. And it was a fairly easy chance to actually put on target. That was the best thing.
Yeah, it was. Derek, I know he is missing a lot of chances. I still have to say, though, he's still getting into those areas. He's still confident enough to go for these things. So that's why I'm not going to give him, you know, a lot of stick for missing things like that. But he should have done better. Let's be honest. But you know, at the end of the game, it really didn't matter. But he should have done a bit better. There, because it was a fantastic ball into him. 9 times out of 10 you would be expecting him to hit the target with that one, but it wasn't to be.
No. 27th minute, was a quick break from Aberdeen, forcing a good save from Fodingham on the left hand side. Kenny McLean was the instigator of that move, and on the 31st minute we got our goal. Morelos started off with a free kick from Candias, fisted out by the keeper, not cleared, back out to Candias, who then gets it to Tavernier on the right hand side with a turn and a first time pinpoint cross to Morelos, who doesn't even need to move and heads into the back of the net. Even though he didn't need to move, it was probably a harder header move to actually make than the chance
it was.
Just a short time beforehand. So, but great all round goal and great vision from Tavernier and Candias in the first place.
Yeah, fantastic play again. Our right-hand side, Derek, absolutely brilliant. Candias and Tavernier, great understanding now. The two of them are playing absolutely sensational. And a great ball in, as you say. And Morelos was, he was off balance, but an absolutely fantastic header past the goalkeeper. It was a peach of a goal. It really was superb stuff.
Yep. And in the 44th minute, good delivery of a free kick by Tavernier, whipped in from the right, just needed a touch and it would be in the back of the net. And then it was into half time. So from the kind of 25-30 minutes, I did actually manage to see the game. I thought we actually played very well. We never gave Aberdeen a chance, really. No,
we were winning every single ball, Derek. That was the pleasing part for me. We were chasing them down. We were never giving them a second on the ball. We really were harrying them. I thought Sean Goss in the first half, Derek, looked absolutely brilliant, totally assured, fully confident. His passing was tremendous. He would get the ball, he would be put under pressure by 2 or 3 players. He was able to sidestep a wee flick ball here, flick ball there, or ping the ball across. It looked really, really good. I think in the second half, you could tell he was getting tired. I know you're going to get into that, but certainly, as you say, in the first half, we completely dominated it. And I was just slightly worried at that point, as we usually do, that, it usually takes us a good 10-15 minutes into the second half before we start playing. But as you're about to get into it, I don't think that happened. I actually think we started the second half the way we ended the first half for a change.
Yep, I mean, for the next 40 odd minutes we played brilliantly. 48th minute, Morelos, a great turn and a shot in the edge of the box, forcing a good save from the keeper. 52nd minute, great play from Candias to win the ball in our half, took the ball forward, plays an amazing ball to Morelos, who was in goal, clearly taken out. A foul was given and a yellow card was given. However, for me, clear goal scoring opportunity, should have been a red card. However, the ref failed to give a yellow a minute beforehand for a clear intentional foul. So there's been a joke made, the fact that Bobby Madden, I think, was the referee for that game, clearly doesn't hand out Christmas cards because he didn't give any fucking cards in this game.
It was the one where Morelos was put, where he was going to be going one-on-one, Derek. For me, I was exactly the same as you. The guy was going to be going in and he was about to pull the trigger, so how that wasn't deemed a goal-scoring opportunity, I'll never know.
I mean, I agree with it being a yellow card if it was in the box and a penalty, because that's the double jeopardy rule, and I think that's what I think FIFA or UEFA tried to kind of sort out in one of the last World Cup or last Euro Championship or something like that, and they said, well, it's just going to be a yellow card and a penalty, not a red card, because you're penalising the team twice there. But it's not been ratified, but for normal league games or anything, so referees not knowing the rules then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
58th minute, it was a great run by John down the left at pace, puts in a great cross, keeper gets his hand to it, falls to the path of Morelos, who seemed to try a wee back heel skill and hits it wide. He really just had to tap it in. What was more impressive was the actual run from John down the left hand side, because the ball was going at some pace and he went even faster than that and he got it. He had no business getting that ball, to be honest. He was getting kind of chased by the defender as well, so he was under that pressure. 68th minute, shot from Windass from 20 yards, deflected off sliding defender's foot, and it was looping into the goal, but the keeper pulls off a great save. 69th minute, Morelos comes off, Cummings comes on. Morelos clearly not happy, was very slow to come off, his head was down, didn't take the jacket off Jimmy Bell. He looked as if he was about to walk up the tunnel, and Johansson had to push him into the dugout.
Yeah. I don't know if he was just annoyed, but he was pissed off himself, Derek, because he knew that he should have done better with a couple of the chances. I don't know if that was the problem with him. I know that there's no many strikers that are hungry, that are happy to come off, but again, it's just one of these things. I think he made the right decision at that point. We needed something a wee bit different, so I think he was quite right to take him off at that point.
Yep. And on the 74th minute, a penalty was given for us. It was a great ball forward by Tav to Windass, taken out by the keeper and the defender. Absolutely no doubts about the penalty whatsoever. No. But the keeper was badly injured, and on the replay it looks as if his own player fell on him.
It was, you can see that quite clearly, because I think at first we weren't quite sure what happened, but then you can see that it was his own player that landed on top of him, and as you say, he's got quite a bad injury, and he had to get stretchered off, so we waited quite some time for the penalty to be taken, and I think that we were all, I think you text me at the time, Derek, and you said, "Oh God, we're waiting a long time. The last time this happened was against Kilmarnock."
Aye.
And look what happened there. But thankfully, it went to plan.
Yeah, as you said, the 6-minute delay. They brought on a new keeper. First thing he had to do was pick the ball out in the back of the net, because Tavernier converted the penalty quite coolly.
Yep.
And then from there, our arses completely collapsed. I do not know what happened, but our shape just went to pot. We started backing off, and Aberdeen obviously must have got an incentive from that, because they were all over us for the next really kind of 60 minutes, because they ended up playing 6 minutes of injury time. In the 82nd minute, a great save by the legs of Fotheringham after Aberdeen got the ball into the box, and he had a thunderbolt shot from 6 yards. Holt got it out for the corner. Resulting corner not dealt with. Fotheringham makes another great save. Ball comes out to the Aberdeen player, and Tav makes a great challenge to more or less clear it off the line to put it out for another corner. Again, the resulting corner not dealt with. Fotheringham had to make another great save at close range. Bit of weird, refereeing again here. 84th minute, clear pass back by the Aberdeen player. Absolutely nothing given.
Yes, yep, that's right.
Yep. 86th minute, good play by Aberdeen, but again Tavernier in to make a great intercepting challenge. Pretty much a last man off the line type affair again. Really, if he didn't do that, the Aberdeen player was just there to tap it in. 88th minute, Windass off, Halliday on. 92nd minute, great save from Fotheringham again after a shot from distance, and again Tav gets a clearance before the Aberdeen player can get the ball. And to round it off, on the 95th minute, it was Candias off and Cardoso on for, I think it was his first appearance since his injury against Motherwell. So fantastic to round out the game with a 2-0 win. Really some great dogged and sometimes lucky defending at the end there, but fantastic.
Well, can I come in there, Derek, when you said that? I don't think it was lucky defending at all, and I'm going to defend our team to the hilt here, because I was seeing quite a few things on Twitter from it was mostly from Rangers fans, and it annoyed me because we were lucky. We were really lucky at the end. The usual guys that are completely pessimistic. But let's look back at this, Derek. Aberdeen did not miss those chances. Their chances, the shots that they had in that were going in. We either tackled them or our goalkeeper saved them. They never missed those chances. It wasn't the matter if that they went through and he completely scuffed his shot and put it past the post or anything like that. It was some quality defending and some quality goalkeeping, but we stopped them scoring. It wasn't a fluke that he saved these chances. It wasn't a fluke that Tav made those clearances either. That's what they're there to do, and that's what they did, and they defended very well, and Aberdeen put us under the cosh, and it was all because we thought the game was done and dusted. That's where the problem was. The problem was because we scored that second goal, we thought, that's the game finished, and then Aberdeen really did put us under the cosh, but some fantastic defending and fantastic goalkeeping kept us a clean sheet. But I'm not having all this nonsense that everybody's saying that we were lucky at the end. That's what they guys are there to do.
True.
Do you not agree?
I did say maybe lucky on occasion.
No, I'm not talking about what you said there. But I did read a lot of shit like that on there to say, aye, we were bloody lucky there, and that's what it was. That's what these guys are there to do. And the problem that we've had over the last few years is that the players we've had in their positions haven't been doing that.
Yeah.
And we've been letting teams back in. So no, I'm absolutely delighted, and they put us under the cosh and we dealt with it. and we got the ball away. I know it was last-ditch defending, but it was some quality last-ditch defending, Derek, let's be honest. So no, I was absolutely delighted with the performance. I was delighted the way the team played, and not one player on the pitch you could turn around and say had a poor game. They all played well.
Yep, absolutely. Into the second game, it was Sunday the 28th of January. It was away to Ross County and we won 2-1. Same starting lineup as the Aberdeen game, and on the subs bench though we had Anik, Cardoso, Herrera, Halliday, Docherty, Cranchar and Cummings. On the 14th minute, it was a good move, ending with Holt having a shot deflected wide for the corner. Corner whipped in, Bates with a great back heel off the post and out, so unlucky there from the youngster. 20th minute, lovely move towards goal, beautiful cutback from Windass to Morelos. Defender got a slight touch to put him off. Morelos keeps it in, cuts it back to Murphy, who has a shot, cleared more or less off the line again.
Yeah, unlucky, I know.
Yep. Minute later, we scored our first goal, and it was Candias. He received the ball from about 30 yards from the goal, moves forward about 5 yards, looks as if he was going to pass out wide, but he has a great shot from 25 yards into the bottom left hand corner past the keeper. The keeper, I think, made maybe a wee bit of a mess of it. He did get a slight touch and he tried to punch it out, but it was a great vision and a great shot nonetheless from Candias.
I don't know if the goalie was maybe sort of caught the shot, quite late. He didn't quite see it. There was quite a few bodies in the road, but you would be expecting your goalie to do a bit better with that. But at that point, I really was the caring, Derek. So, absolutely delighted for Candice, because I thought he was absolutely sensational throughout the whole game.
Yep. 26th minute, Morelos, good driving run from the right, cuts inside, hits a shot on the edge of the box, and it was just wide of the right hand post. 32nd minute, great 20-yard shot from Goss, saved by the keeper, so it was maybe a feature of what we've got to come from him. And on the 40th minute, it was a good move from Tavernier, getting a great cross in from the right. Murphy with a glancing header, forcing a great save out the keeper. So certainly the keeper making up for his potential wee mistake earlier on with the goal.
Yep, good save, right.
I mean, to be honest, it was a largely midfield battle, apart from what I've described there, with a couple of chances. We never created that much in front of goal, but certainly Ross County created fuck all in front of goal.
Derek, let's be honest here, we always have a tough game against Ross County, regardless if we're at home or we're away. We always have a hard match. They always make it really difficult for us. But as you say, it was a bit of a midfield fight, but it was a midfield fight that we were winning. And again, I thought, down the right-hand side, especially Candace, outstanding, and Goss, as I say, I've been really impressed with him. And every time I see him doing something good, I've got to laugh, because to be fair to what Snagsy said on the last pod, he is very, very similar to the way that a fit, slim Charlie Adam would look in the team. He's got the ability to make space for himself. His passing's outstanding. His vision's outstanding. I think, a really, really good player. And again, in the first half, thought he was excellent. But going back, he does kind of slide away for the game coming into the second half. But I think that is purely just down to match fitness, I think, the new Derek.
Yeah. Into the second half, as I've said, it was quite dull until the last 10 minutes, and both teams, I think, kind of cancelled each other out, and it was a midfield game with very little up front. 48th minute was a good move and ball from Candias to Windass in the box, cuts it back, hits a shot and forces a good save from the keeper.
Yeah, unlucky with that one.
Yep. 71st minute, cross for Ross County, header hit off Bates's arm and out for the corner. This was a bit of controversy, and I did say that on the reaction pod. He had one early on in the game, and I can't remember if it was the first half or early in the second half, where it potentially hit off his arm, but there was no flailing arm, it was all in his body, and it was again ball to hand, ball to arm. And this for me again was a bit of the same. As I've said in the reaction pod, it was, I've seen them given, I've seen them not given, and potentially we were fortunate to get away with that one. To me, his hands were inside his body, so it wasn't really a penalty for me. Again, it's maybe one of these things where if it had happened to us and it was the Ross County defender...
That's I was just about to say to you there, Derek. I think we would be feeling a bit aggrieved if that had happened against us, so I've got a feeling it maybe possibly was, but... regardless, the referee didn't, and that's all that matters. There's no point going over it that it wasn't given, so it wasn't a penalty. End of. So
73rd minute, Goss came off and Docherty came on. 78th minute, Morelos came off and Cummins came on. They never taken a strop, Morelos, this time, thank God.
I know.
And it was always going to happen. 4 minutes on the park, we get a goal, and it was none other than Jason Cummins. He gets the ball at the halfway line, drives the ball forward, cuts inside at the edge of the box, hits a shot, and it was just inside the post and into the back of the net. Fantastic goal. He ran, he kind of ran up to our fans, and a bunch of our fans spilled onto the park, and obviously the usual suspects, were going mental. The fact, oh, look at you celebrating against Ross County, bottom team. Fuck off. Simple.
Well, Derek, to be honest with you, I don't know if you were the same, but for the first time, and I'll not say a while, but for the first time in the last few games, it's been the first time that I've really jumped off the couch and celebrated a goal. Just because it was Jason Cummings that scored, because you knew how much it would mean to him. This guy, without even playing, is already, a fan's favourite, and he's only played, one and a bit games for us so far, and already he's a complete hero to the supporters. So I think everybody just went daft because it was him that scored, and you could see how much it meant to him and all the fans that were there, and me as well. Absolutely delighted that the guy scored, chuffed to bits for him, and if was it too much? I wouldn't say so. And the fact that it winds up rival fans as well is great.
Yeah, I will play devil's advocate for a bit here, because I have mentioned it before. Is fans know the reaction certain people will have and certain sections of the media will have over things like that. So sometimes I think some of our fans need to be a wee bit smarter with this. I've celebrated like mad, like everyone else has, but I've never had the urge to rush onto the park to do it and engulf a player like that. So I'm not saying it was a bad thing. I'm just saying sometimes we need to be a wee bit smarter as a fan base, because once again, we got vilified in the press because of it.
Yeah, of
completely unjustified, but that's what happens, because that's the way the media and
you're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, 84th minute, Candias came off and Halliday came on, and another bizarre decision here from the referee. And the 80th minute, there was a penalty from handball with, I think it was Martin, who I'll deem to have handballed it in the...
No, and that was, a complete shambles, complete shambles by the referee.
Very harsh. He was in the box on our end. He kind of slid in with the defender, slid in with the attacker. The attacker hit the ball at very close range, quite fast-paced. Natural reaction, he thought he was going to hit his face, so he put his hand up. Yeah. Absolutely, it hit his hand in the box in an unnatural position. However, it was in self-defence, which is a natural reaction. You cannot control your body from trying to protect your face like that. So it was a case of evening it up, I think, and referees are not meant to do that. So
no, they're not, and it's the old saying: two wrongs don't make a right, Derek, do they? So it's he potentially had made a backside of the first call, got that wrong, and then he certainly got the second one wrong as well. And as you say, he tried to sort of even up the mistake that he'd made possibly earlier on, and that was absolutely shocking. Couldn't quite believe it, to be honest with you. And as you say, there's absolutely nothing that Russell Martin could have done to avoid that, apart from getting a blooming volley, at point blank range right in the face. And there's not one person on this earth that would, the reaction would be the same for everybody. So really, really harsh there.
Yep. So obviously they scored 2-1, and I don't think they really had much to do.
No.
The rest of it was only a couple of minutes anyway, so we held on, and another great victory. So.
Yes, it certainly was. And again, Derek, you've got to look at certain players, the likes of David Bates again. That was those last two games that he had against the Aberdeen. Well, you can go to for the Celtic game for when he came on, and then the Aberdeen game, and then that game, the laddie's been absolutely fantastic for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Into the last game we've got here, which was last night or 2 nights ago, because that's when the pod will be out. Wednesday the 31st of January, a 3-0 win away against Fraserburgh in the 4th round of the Scottish Cup. Now, just before we get into the game, it turns out that a number of our fans were locked out of the game, as Fraserburgh claim that the stadium was full and fake tickets were in circulation, mainly with the away end. Now, this is not the first time this has happened at one of the lower division from up north, and it was our fans affected again. Obviously, there's a police investigation. Obviously, apparently going. So I'm not want to say too much, but in this day and age, the fake tickets really get in circulation.
I don't know about Scotland, Derek, but you know my story about the NFL in America.
Well,
so I know that it does happen there. But, you certainly don't hear about it much in Scotland. So, we can't say too much, as you say, because there's this investigation going on. But if possible foul play, I don't know. But we'll leave that to the authorities to find out.
Yep. I know that Fraserburgh were going to be right at their capacity, and I know that it's not the greatest of stadiums and all that kind of thing, but some people showing a video of around the stadium at the standing section, and there was more than enough space to accommodate more fans if need be. So I don't know if they're basing that on budgets for police, and obviously you have a certain amount of fans in, you need to have a certain amount of police. I don't know if it was limitations due to that and they couldn't afford it. I'm not too sure, but we'll wait and see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, a number of changes in the game. We lined up Anik, Hodgson, Bates, Cardoso, John, Holt, Halliday, Candias, Windass, Cranshar and Cummings. On the subs bench we had Kelly, Aidan Wilson, Goss, Dodu, Murphy, Herrera and Morelos. So Morelos on the bench despite there's rumours that he was linked to the Chinese club. So
yeah,
I think we knew then that certainly wasn't going to happen.
Yes.
Obviously, the window is still open in China, so we're still potentially might lose them, obviously, which kind of makes the whole transfer window a bit pointless when other windows are still open and you can still lose your own players, and you don't have the opportunity to get replacements in. So
yeah,
into the game. 11th minute, nice move from Windass and Cranshar feeding the ball to Cummins in the box. Keeper closed it down. 13th minute, Holt brought down in the box. It was a clear penalty, despite what some journalists or would-be journalists seem to think, but it was a clear penalty, not soft at all, and Windass converts the penalty.
Yep.
24th minute, Hodgson had his hands on the attacker in the box. He did. The attacker did go down. Possible claim. I felt he went down easy, but you really can't put yourself in that position as a defender. It's just asking for it, to be honest. So again, it's maybe something. Again, I've seen them given, seen them not given. So maybe fortunate there, but it's as I said, it's one of these things. They do come for you. They go for you. It does even itself out. Well, it's meant to even itself out over the course, but you know what we've been like over the last couple of years with referees, so we'll take the good fortune when we can get it.
Exactly, yeah.
26th minute, it was a good move into the box with Cranshar having a shot just over the bar. I think it actually hit off the top of the bar now. And 45th minute, Holt taken out in the box, absolutely nothing given, deemed to be shoulder to shoulder. There was not much complaints from any of the Rangers players, to be honest, but I felt that it was more than a shoulder challenge, but maybe that was just me.
Mm-hmm.
Into the second half, again, it was, obviously you can tell there was not a lot happening throughout the half. It was pretty much a midfield game, and I said in the reaction pod it was never going to be a classic match, and you've seen the state of the park. It was an absolute tatty field with down the near side on the right, it was completely waterlogged and muddy, it looked like as well, so we'll forgive the lack of free flowing play. Saying that, in the second half we did actually start to play a wee bit better. And we've got our just desserts on the 54th minute. Windass got his second. It was a ball in from the right. Nico knocked it down. He passed to Cummins in the box. Cummins, who looked as if he had a shot, it was going well wide. However, fortunately, it fell into the path of Windass, who was in the box, and he coolly slotted it home. Good finish from Windass and good composure.
Yeah, it was a great finish,
Yep. And on the 66th minute, Windass got his hat-trick. Received the ball wide to the left edge of the box, cut inside, unleashed a great shot into the back of the net for his hat-trick. Absolutely fantastic.
Yep, superb stuff.
Now, I did ask who was the last person to score a hat-trick for Rangers, and
I'm going to go for a guess. Or are you going to tell me, or are you going
to go for it? But I've got the answer here, according to our source on Facebook here.
The only person that I can remember scoring a hat-trick last was the player that I used to vilify on a weekly basis, being Joe Garner.
It was him, yes. Well, I've not checked this, but certainly Robert Kerr on our YouTube page reliably informs us, and he's pretty sure it was in a cup game as well. So
yes,
thanks very much, Robert, for that, for getting back to us.
Aye, yep.
So it's good to see. It's brilliant that players are getting hat tricks, and certainly he started off, I felt, quiet in the game, but in the second half he just taken the game by the scruff of the neck from what he got, and he certainly ran with it. Especially that last goal was brilliant.
Oh no, it was. I felt sorry for Jason Cummings, to be honest with you, throughout the game, Derek, because there was quite a few times you could see that he was in space. The ball just wasn't getting to him. But I'm trying not to. But I sat, like yourself, when I watched it, it was pretty turgid stuff. The field was shocking. You've said that already. It was like a tatty field. It was like going down your local park for a game. It was really really bad surface, so that there wasn't a lot of football could be played. But saying that, there were a couple of players I thought that were very, very poor for us. Hodgson being one of them, who looked absolutely lost. He didn't look as if he was, a player, an international class player playing against these guys. He looked very, very ordinary. And I was really, I thought he was very, very poor, Derek. And I know that a lot of people got on his back. I understand that, and I try not to, but he did that. I thought he looked poor. Andy Halliday as well looked really sort of lost as well in midfield, and so did Jason Holt. And Jason Holt's been really, really good for us recently, but it was just a poor, performance by them. But difficult circumstances, but at least Windass was showing the wee bit of creativity that was needed, and great that he got a hat trick, and he looked really pleased himself with it. So we can only go, as you say, we knew it was going to be a very patchy match. We knew it was going to be tight and played in difficult conditions. So they went up there, they got the victory with a lot of the players that haven't been played a lot of football, and that's really all we can say about it.
On the 70th minute, Windass and Cummins came off, Herrera and Dodu came on. 71st minute, there was a shot over the bar by one of the Fraserburgh players. That was, I think, the only thing they'd really done all game. 73rd minute, was a chance from Candias in the box. I think he was one-on-one with the keeper at the point, and it was a good save by the keeper, came out to meet it. And he did actually come off on the 77th minute for Murphy to come on. Now, moment of absolute madness from the Fraserburgh player on the 85th minute. He got a straight red card. He had only been on the pitch literally 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
And he went right through Dodu with his studs and high feet. I've only seen it once because, funnily enough, the whole TV feed for everybody seemed to cut out when they were showing the replays.
Yeah, so. That's right. Yep.
But I mean, imagine getting your big chance against Rangers on TV, and then doing that 2 minutes on.
I was sitting watching it with my son, and it was him that said straight away, "That's the guy that's just came on. He's only been on for a minute." I was like, "Are you sure?" And he says, "It's definitely him, the guy with the beard." And as sure as fate it was. As you say, this is a chance for this guy on the TV and stuff like that, and then he only manages to last about a minute and a half before getting sent off. So luckily there wasn't any injuries or anything like that with the tackle, but it was quite a bad one, Derek.
Yeah, absolutely. So that puts us through to the 5th round against Ayr United. So just in the league, obviously because we played Fraserburgh, we've got a game in hand over everyone, so we're sitting a wee bit lower than we could have been. So we're sitting 3rd just now. We've played 24, won 14, drew 4, lost 6, scored 45, conceded 26, goal difference plus 19, points 46. 3 points behind Aberdeen, who sit in 2nd, as I said, game in hand. 14 behind Celtic, game in hand, and 5 ahead of Hibs, and again we've got a game in hand there. So, games to come on. The next one is Saturday the 3rd of February at home to Hibs, and strangely enough, Scott Allen has rejoined Hibs on loan, so that should be quite interesting if he gets his game there. Next game after that is the rescheduled game against Partick, which is Tuesday the 6th of February. That's away, it's a 19:45 kick-off. Next game after that, Sunday the 11th of February, away to Ayr United in the Scottish Cup 5th round. So we should be back between the Partick game and Ayr game. If not, it'll be just after the Ayr game, because the next game we play after Ayr is Sunday the 18th of February away to Hamilton. It's a 14:15 kick-off, and that's the last game of the run here I've got here, unless we play a game midweek in between because of other scheduled games. So
yeah, what do you think? Sorry, the games that are coming up, Derek. I'm hoping this game is Saturday that our players are well up for it, especially the players that played in the first time, the first fixture when we were cheated out of that game. I'm hoping for a major reaction. At Ibrox, I know the fans will be well up for it as well. So I'm looking forward to what for that game, and really hoping that they're really going to go out and give a really good performance, because this is a big game for us, something to prove as well. So, and of course we've got Jason Cummings there as well, who I'm sure will be desperate to either play or at least get on for some time in the pitch as well. What's your feelings on that one?
I mean, it's obviously going to be a tough game, I think. Hibs are a funny team, and don't take this as the fact that I like the guy at all, but there is something in the management style of Neil Lennon that he can get the players working. However, they're hit and miss sometimes, Hibs.
Yeah.
So it depends sometimes what Hibs team turn up, but the way we are playing just now, certainly the last few games, is the team have been digging deep, they've been defending well, they've been attacking very well, I think. Maybe the Fraserburgh game can take that out of the equation for the fact that it was just the conditions. It was a game, it was travelling up midweek, a long journey as well. We'll take that as we'll take that as read, that we'll just write that off.
Yes.
However, the Ross County game, we got the goals when we needed to at the end of the day. It was not a pretty game at points, but we were the only team that were ever going to win that game. So I think we're playing well just now, and that's the difference. We are attacking well, we're defending well, we're playing as a unit, and we've got that mentality, and I don't see why we can't beat anyone at this point. So I think we're going to get a 2-0 victory.
Quality, Derek. See, the optimism is fantastic. Superb stuff.
A fucking 2-0 defeat, I bet. Right, we will now go into the classic match.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
Right, Derek, you ready? You ready for this intro?
Go then.
The classic match, sponsored by Pepsi Max.
If anyone from Pepsi Max is listening, please give us some money.
Some money. Even a case of Pepsi Max, I would be absolutely delighted with that. Delighted.
I'd be delighted with a can of Pepsi Max at this point. Anything free.
Exactly, anything free. Anyway, yes, into the classic match, Derek. I have gone back to the year of 1989 and picked out a game. Now, Derek, I had to do my homework on this one. I really did, because I can remember the game, and trying to find some decent footage of it, online has been pretty difficult, as you know yourself. There wasn't a lot of it, but reading a lot of match reports and things like that, as well as the footage that I got for it, I've managed to get us a quality classic match. Now, I picked this game, Derek, because everybody remembers the day that we hammered Celtic 5-1. I think it was probably just about a year before that, when we won 5-1, when Ray Wilkins scored his volley and all that. Everybody remembers that. But not long after that, we gave Celtic another absolute hiding at Ibrox after that one again. And this time, we won 4-1 in this one. And a lot of people forget about it, but I definitely remember it. Now, the date was the so-called New Year's Day fixture. It was actually played on the 3rd of January 1989, and the teams that day, there's a lot of famous names in both lineups there. Rangers in this game lined up with Nicky Walker in goals, Gary Stevens at right back, Stuart Monroe left back. In defence, centre defence, Richard Gough, and captain for the day, Terry Butcher. Into midfield for Rangers, we had Ray Wilkins, Ian Ferguson, Derek Ferguson and John Brown. And up front for Rangers on that day was Kevin Drinkle, and Mark Walters was given a sort of free role in the team. Celtic, again, some famous names in there. Pat Bonner, Morris, Anton Rogan, Tommy Burns, Roy Aitken, Billy Stark, Mick McCarthy, Lex Bailey, Peter Grant, Mark McGee and Frank McAvenny. So a lot of famous internationalists in the Celtic team as well back then, Derek. Now, Rangers kicked off the game and probably the worst start that you could ever get, straight away in the first minute.
An astonishingly slack pass which brought this foul about, because McAvenny is very dangerous in that position. Seemed to me he threw himself a bit. There's only a minute gone. Celtic to take this. It's just there, yes. Morris, 1-0.
Ray Wilkins with a bit of a clumsy foul on Frank McAvenny. It wasn't too much in it, Derek, but I've got down here Frank McAvenny doing his best Superman impersonation there with this incredible dive on the edge of the box to win Celtic the free kick. And up steps Morris out of nowhere, who was the right back, and hits a low curling shot round the wall right into the bottom corner of the net. So the worst possible start for Rangers. But it must have gave them a bit of a kick up the backside, because after that we had a few minutes later we had a shot over the bar. It was Derek Ferguson just over the bar, but Rangers trying to win this midfield battle, and then on the 15th minute we managed to battle our way back into the match.
Just gets with it. Now Walters. Now that is the free kick. Free kick to Rangers. Wilkins will take this. There's Butcher with it. It's in! Butcher, the equaliser. Terry Butcher, rising above them all he needed was the slightest glance, and it soared away from Bonner.
Now, it was Mark Walters on the right-hand wing who was brought down with bad tackle by Roy Aitken. So it was a free kick to Rangers on the right-hand side. It was taken by Ray Wilkins, and it was high into the box, and Terry Butcher, who was quite far back, went for a sort of flick. Now, he wasn't really high up there when he hit the ball with his head, but he managed to get a head on it, and it looped right over Pat Bonner and dipped right into the back of the net at the left-hand post to make it 1-1 to Rangers. And from that point on, we were right back in. There was only ever going to be one winner. Not long after that, a high ball into the box, headed down by Richard Gough to Mark Walters on the edge of the box. He has this incredible shot, and it hits off the post at the inside of the post, back out to Kevin Drinkle, who you thought was going to plump it in. He went for the diving header, got his head to it in amongst all these players, and it agonisingly went past the post. Really unlucky at that point, really should have been 2-1. And in a few more midfield tussle, as you can tell, with the likes of Roy Aitken being in a midfield, against Ian Ferguson, some really meaty tackles going in there. And then on the 27th minute,
here's Walters, and Rangers get the free kick. Brown on towards Ferguson. Here Drinkle feels for a penalty. It's given. It's there. Rangers are in the lead, 2-1. Mark Walters puts them there, and he did that with the greatest of ease, very near the goalkeeper, but it went in.
John Brown with a high ball, who's looking for Ian Ferguson, but the ball was too high for Ferguson, and it dropped on the right hand side, but inside the box for Kevin Drinkle. Drinkle heads for the byline, and then Anton Rogan just comes in and just completely takes him out. Doesn't touch the ball, as clear a penalty as you'll get. And all you can see is Kevin Drinkle just standing up, his hands in the air, because he just knew straight away that it was a penalty. Straight away, supreme confidence. He knew that was going to happen. Mark Walters steps up with the penalty and hits it bang into the bottom right corner of the goal to make it 2-1 to Rangers, in a fantastic shot of him running past the Celtic fans in the away end, kissing the badge. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. Not long after that, he's seen an absolutely fantastic
piece of skill by Derek Ferguson in the middle of the park. A few sort of flicks and tricks, skins his man and away past him. Absolutely brilliant. And then again, some really hard tackles in there. This time it was Tommy Burns and Ian Ferguson in there. The two of them got up, a wee bit of pushing and shoving. I've got handbags happened here. And then on the 45th minute, just before half time, a corner kick to Rangers.
Ferguson with the shot is there. Deflection, I think. In came Ferguson, and that shot whistled in, and I think there was a deflection. But Rangers are now 3-1 in the lead.
Stark clears it to the edge of the box, and Ian Ferguson, with a first time shot, hits it. A strange one, Derek. It looked as if there was possibly a deflection because he hit it and it just sort of slowed down, but it nestled right into the back of the net. Ian Ferguson goes up to the Rangers fans. Absolutely fantastic. Delighted. That made it 3-1 to Rangers at that stage, just before half time. If you look back on the replay, you did think that there had been a deflection, but when you see it for the other angle, it doesn't. And I don't know what happened with it, because he did hit it with some, he battered it, but when it got into the back of the net, it slowed right down. But regardless, 3-1 to Rangers, going in at half time. A fantastic lead to take into for the second half. Then in the second half, Celtic basically just tried to shut up shop. They didn't want to lose any more goals. So Rangers with the bulk of the play at the start of the second half. Nothing coming off for them. And then a wee half chance in the 63rd minute for Kevin Drinkle. Shot on the bounce for the edge of the box, but was well saved by Pat Bonner. And then on the break,
straight to McCall. Drinkle. That's a beautiful ball. Here's Walters through. Walters with a great chance, and he done it. Number 4 for Rangers in a breakaway. Beautifully taken goal.
Kevin Drinkle, a great pass to Ian McCall, who came on, who then put a fantastic through ball through to Mark Walters, who stayed onside, sprints through one-on-one with Pat Bonner. He doesn't try to go past him or anything, Derek. He knows exactly where he's placing the ball, hits it, curls it right round Pat Bonner into the bottom right corner of the goal. Absolutely fantastic. Celtic could not deal with Mark Walters on that day. He was absolutely sensational. And after that, it basically was, it had gone, Celtic knew they absolutely hammered. They couldn't do it any more in the game. Rangers were passing the ball about, and the game finished. Rangers ended up winning that game 4-1, and at that point Rangers had gone 7 points clear. And it's also well worth, and if you can go back and find the footage on YouTube, there's an interview with Graham Souness at the end, and he's absolutely fantastic at the end, especially when he's talking about some of the really hard tackles that were going in there. He's basically making it look as if they say, well, if these type of challenges aren't going to be going on in games, you'd be as well playing a game of basketball or whatever. It's just like it was the norm for him, for Graham Souness. But really, really good stuff. And if you get the chance, go and have a look at it. I don't suppose, Derek, you would only been about 4-year-old or something like that at that stage, so you'll not really remember much about it.
When did it happen? 89. 4-year-old, so
4-year-old.
No idea.
Yeah, no, I was about 14 at that point, so I can remember quite clearly. I just remember Mark Walters, because back then at that point Walters was my favourite player. A guy with a lot of flair, great pace and all that. But I can just remember the Celtic just couldn't live with him that day. So again, if you get the chance, go back and have a look at some of the old classic games, and that one's definitely worth a watch.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll have another classic match for you next week, next episode even.
Next time, yeah.
Yes. So, it's now into the news.
From ITN, the ITV News at 10 with Trevor McDonald.
Right, just a few bits and pieces to cover here. Some Rangers, some related, some not. It looks as if Ryan Jack is going to be out for the rest of the season, as he's likely going to have to go for an operation due to the injury that he received against Motherwell with that shocking challenge Kipri put in. So, absolutely nothing given, and he's out for the whole season. A ridiculous refereeing decision anyway, so...
Yeah, for a guy who was, has been so good for us as well, Derek, it's an absolute nightmare for him. Really feel for the guy big time. And as you say, for the fact that they know what happened, it was a shocker and nothing happens about a blooming travesty for us. But I would just have to hope that he gets back completely fully fit, and there's he's back in the team fighting fit for next season.
Yep. This next one's quite an interesting one. Rangers and Celtic Colt team is looking more likely, and they'll play in the lower divisions, I think, League 2. I think for me it's good for the game, as the lower teams will have actually better opposition to play against, arguably, and that means they'll in turn get better themselves. Yeah. And I think that there's some teams that are quite happy with it, and some teams are putting up a fight against it, but I think a lot of these lower teams need to realise, and this is not being arrogant at all, this is just stating a fact, if it wasn't for Rangers and Celtic, these teams probably wouldn't even be in existence, because they need the old firm to survive effectively. There would be no TV money, nobody would give a fuck about Scottish football if it wasn't for them, and quite clearly Rangers have bankrolled a lot of these lower league clubs over the last kind of 5 years when we're making our way through the league, so they've got to realise that, and in turn you have a good Rangers and Celtic Colt team. I can't speak for Celtic because half their fans don't turn up for their first team, but certainly Rangers fans would turn out for the Colt games.
Yeah, here's a question for you, Derek, and you maybe know more about this than myself. Let's say, for example, the Colt team was allowed in. They were allowed in to start in the third division, and let's say they have a fantastic season. How far can these teams go? Can they keep getting promoted? Can they keep, because, again, not slagging off the state of Scottish football, but, is there a chance that one of these teams could go? Surely they wouldn't be allowed to play in the same league, if you know what I mean. And again, I'm not being arrogant here by saying that, but there's a good chance that these teams could do quite well, either in the Cups possibly, or whatever. I don't actually know what the rules would be, because again, you couldn't have that team getting drawn in a cup match against the first team, could you?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I'm looking at, obviously Barcelona and Real Madrid have B teams, yes. So that's their example. And I'm reading this here from Wikipedia of all times. Reserve teams in Spain play in the same league system as the senior team, which would be the same as us. And rather than the reserve league, again the same as us, they must play at least one level below their main side. Thus, Barcelona be ineligible for promotion to La Liga. They can also not play in the Copa del Rey, so they couldn't be drawn in the cup there. So
yeah. So there's my question answered if they go down the same route. But again, this is Scotland and the SFA at work, so who the hell knows what's going to happen. But no, certainly I'm all for it, Derek, for the development of our team. To have, let's say, a Rangers Colt team playing even in League One, have quite a decent standard, quite a hard league. And also, I mean, I take it that would then end the loaning of players, unless they were, unless the chance of one of a bigger team, more established team came in. But I don't know if they would still go for that or not, but certainly, it would mean that any players we had would be playing at half decent level. So no, I'm well up for it. And as you say, who's to say if these matches were getting played on a different night from the main team, there's going to be thousands of fans would go and cheer them on. Mm-hmm. So again, sorry, you're talking about, and you were saying, that you've quite literally bankrolled these clubs. We still could, if you know what I mean. Let's say they were, playing Airdrie or something like that at their stadium. I still reckon 2,000 or 3,000 Rangers supporters would turn up to watch them if it was on a different night when the first team are playing.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on where our home games are as well. I know that they're looking and I think they've got planning permission accepted for the new stand at Auchenhowie, so I don't know if they would play at Auchenhowie or they would play at Ibrox or anything like that. I can't see them opening up Ibrox for it, to be honest.
No.
But it's all these lower league teams would certainly see the benefit of it.
Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, Derek, they certainly would. And I know myself, if they were playing at the likes of Stennismuir or even at Falkirk or one of the clubs, as you say, if they were playing against Clyde, along the road from where you are, you would go along and watch it if you had nothing on you, because it wouldn't be that much to get in. So no. I think it's a win-win for both all the other teams and for Rangers as well. So no, I think they should definitely go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Next thing, talking of like lower teams, our development squad of their new fixtures for their Euro kind of teams have been announced as well, and we just actually beat Villarreal as well 3-2.
Yeah,
so fantastic.
They've had some really impressive results, Derek. They really have, and this has been a fantastic opportunity. And it looks as if the players have grabbed it when they've got it. Some really, really impressive performances and some great results as well. Yep.
So we're set to play Man U, PSG. Obviously, just played Villarreal, Levante, AEK Athens, Utrecht, Brentford B team, FC Copenhagen, Everton, and Breidablik B. I think that's how you pronounce them, and 2 other tournaments. And I think that takes them up to the end of the normal season. So obviously that's off the back of beating Bayern Munich 2-1 there. So
yeah, exactly. No, it's absolutely superb. And I mean, the experience for these guys playing in that is just tremendous. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yep. Rangers have been ranked 13th most supported club in Europe by UEFA. They do it by their attendance figures. Barca were top and Celtic were 8th, which is amazing that they're 8th considering that half their stadium was certainly plastered up with fucking plastic covers.
Exactly.
And all that. So
yeah.
So certainly on the way, looking good. And obviously you were looking down the list of the teams there, and it was all the top of the list was teams with much greater capacities than us. So certainly if they'd done it by percentage of seats sold compared
exactly.
to we would be certainly in the top 3. I can imagine. So
yep.
A bit of a strange one here by Ali McCoist, and I think he's been on TalkSport tonight talking absolute mince again, but he was on TalkSport earlier on in the week, and he says that he thinks a majority of the fans would back Mike Ashley if he invested again into the club, and he thinks the fans have no ill feeling against him. As a player, always be a legend. As a manager, he'll always be seen as a failure. See it as talking utter shit and out of touch with fans. That's exactly how he's going to be seen right now.
I'm totally flabbergasted by that statement, Derek. Really, really flabbergasted, and I'm just glad that basically the rest of Scotland and even in England know that that's absolute nonsense as well. I don't know where he's getting all this from, but just baffling, Derek. Just totally baffling. And again, that comes off the back of, did you see the big display that the Newcastle fans had put up at their stadium the other night? Clearly, if this doesn't show any fan out there, anybody who comes away with this nonsense that they want Mike Ashley and the team, Mike Ashley, we've went over this, Derek, and I can't believe what we're talking about again. Mike Ashley has got no interest in putting a lot of money into a football club. He is there for the take totally, and he was bleeding our club dry. He was sucking the life out of it bit by bit, and anybody that didn't see that at the time is really, I don't know what the hell they were looking at, Derek. It was a disaster, and the only people who bring up the Mike Ashley thing all the time are the people who want us to fail, because they know what the end game would be. End of. So all these journalists that big up Mike Ashley and Rangers are daft, these are all guys who have been out there baying for blood for a long time. They all know how it would end if Mike Ashley was in charge, and I'm just so glad that he's got nothing to do or literally nothing to do with our club anymore.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. We're going over old ground again, so I'm not really wanting to do that, so
exactly.
We'll move on. Talking of people destroying things, finally Stuart Regan has resigned as SFA chief.
Yeah.
So basically they're now chiefless. This is the SFA. They've not got a chief. They're managerless for the national team. There's no replacement for the main sponsor that expires at the end of the season, and nobody's got a clue what's happening with the national stadium. Yet apparently Scottish football's thriving. You know?
Yes, it's been a total farce from start to finish, Derek. It is. I know that you really didn't care about the national team. You know, we've been over that. I'm quite old-fashioned that way, as we've said before. Although cannot stand Gordon Strachan, at this moment in time, I couldn't see anyone who, you know, is better for the job than what he was. And I'm not in any way saying that he was, you know, fantastic for the job, but there is literally nobody else out there who's got the experience that he had. So it was a pretty stupid thing that they done, I think, in getting rid of him. They basically thought that they could just go out and get Michael O'Neill. He was the only target they had, and they thought, oh, Michael O'Neill, Northern Ireland, he'll come to us, no bother. And he basically said, no, I didn't want the job. So they're absolutely fucked. The Stuart Regan has made an arse of just about everything that he's laid his hands on. How he's lasted in the job for so long, I have absolutely no idea. And I don't know where they're going to go for here, but they look absolutely amateurish, Derek. We knew that anyway, but the whole thing is a complete mess. And, you know, I genuinely hope whoever comes in that they make a success of it, but I think things are just so fucked up at the moment that it's going to take a hell of a long time, and this is now set us back, you know, as a nation. And I'm not just talking about international football, I'm talking about everything for top. It has set us back even further, and as you say, the fact that the main sponsor hasn't even been sorted out either is shocking. So it's just a complete and utter shambles.
And of course Celtic fans are already saying, you know, I'm quite right, the bloody bias and all that kind of crap. Rangers fans are quite happy that he's out the door, because, you know, the way that they presided over the Rangers thing by dishing out punishments before even anything had been proven, the way they handled everything that they do with us, the way they've handled the leagues in general, the way they've handled obviously the national teams scenarios as well. For the fact that they're farcical that way, we're quite happy with this news. Celtic fans are happy with this news because it means that they seem to think there's bias towards Rangers, you know, the fact that they've been inept and corrupt by favouring Rangers and not doing extra investigations. I can quite see what's going to happen here is as soon as the new guy's in place, which might be appointed by bloody Peter Lawwell, the SFA Peter Lawwell that is, you know, they'll be calling for the new SFA chief to put new investigations into EBTs.
Of course they will, Derek. Yeah. They will still be calling on more punishment to be handed out. I mean, more punishment. You know, again, we're going over old ground. The punishment that we had was fucking absolutely shocking, and they seem to forget everything that we have went through. But this will go on in 20 years' time, Derek. We'll still be hearing about this. They'll still be looking for it to be happening. It's a joke, but I don't know who the SFA are going to appoint. I don't know who's out there. I don't know if there's anybody up for the job. They'll find some guy in the blooming finance sector that they'll bring in that's got absolutely no experience, that anything to do with football. They'll bring him in, whatever. But it's just been poorly handled right for the start. And, you know, again, I'll say a complete and utter shambles.
A prediction: Neil Doncaster's going to get the job.
And do both.
No, he'll step down as SPFL and he'll get the SFA job, guaranteed.
Oh, well, we can only wait and see, Derek. I don't know where they're going to go from here, regardless, because it's just been a complete farce for quite some time now, and the whole thing with Michael O'Neill really brought out how amateur looking that they really are out there. They should have had a short list, which they said they have had a short list, but that's a lot of shite. They basically wanted Michael O'Neill for the start, and he's turned them down, and now they're stuck. And this has happened today as well. So no, it's sad that the guy's going, Derek, because there has been so many cock-ups, but we'll just have to wait and see who they try they bring in to pull off this miracle of getting Scottish football back on the road, we can just be happy that our team seems to be on the right road to success again, Derek. That's the main thing.
Absolutely. From one cock up to the next, Stephen Thompson has stepped down for his Dundee United chairman, so he's still retaining his shares, but I just wanted to say a fuck him to him.
Hilarious, Derek. It's great to see karma at its best. And a lot of their fans now, they're not getting the support that they thought they would for their best pals over at Celtic Park. You know what I mean? That's all been forgotten about big time. They basically slept with the enemy, and now they're fucked. End of. And karma is a bitch. I'm so glad that they're in the doldrums, and there's no way that they're going to get promoted for next season as well. So there'll be another season in that league. So fuck them.
I think they'll fold if they stay another season down there. So
yeah, we'll wait and see.
Yep. All right. Next story here. Man, 80, found guilty of molesting cows. An 80-year-old man has been banned from every farm in Britain after being found guilty of outraged public decency by molesting cows. John...
He's been banned from every farm in Great Britain.
Yes. John Curnow appeared at Uxbridge Magistrates Court. Uxbridge always sounds like a kind of farm thing anyway, where he was accused of pushing his fist into a cow's rectum and performing a sex act. The court was told Curnow was seen several times talking to a herd of 150 cows and masturbating in fields belonging to Park Lodge Farm in Uxbridge last summer. The eyewitness told the court she had seen the pensioner twice with his trousers and his underpants round his ankles, courting her cattle. Have you ever courted cattle, Dave?
What do you think he was saying to them? Oh, who's up for it? Who's up for it? Well, one of you cows is up for it. Oh dear. Do you think, Derek, that all these farmers have been sent emails with this guy's picture on it saying, if you see this man, phone the police, don't let him near your cows?
The cows were left unattended in the field, especially in the summer. We have them there day and night. I went out in my white pickup truck. I don't know why it matters if it's white. Okay. And the gentleman was with a cow. He had his left hand interfering with the cow and his right hand on a part of his lower body. His shirt was covering it. He was masturbating. You could see it moving up and down, and his trousers and boxer shorts were round his ankles. He stopped and looked up, grabbed his boxers and trousers, and ran to the stile.
Do you think he thought that he was getting milk out, Derek?
It might have been white, but it certainly wasn't milk.
What do you think he was saying to the cows? You know, you said he was in a field and he could be seen talking to the cows. What do you think he was saying to them?
He was maybe saying, moo. So, on that note, we'll wrap up the podcast here. So, it's just to say thanks for listening. Check out our Twitter feed at iReadyPod. Facebook is facebook.com/iReadyPod. Have our Instagram page as well if you search for iReadyPod. We post the pictures up on Facebook and Twitter as well. We've got our website, which is ireadypodcast.wordpress.com, and we also have our YouTube channel where all of our episodes are up, as well as the reaction pods, which are YouTube exclusives as well. So,
yeah, no, and just on that note, anybody out there that is into looking at the stuff on YouTube and all that, check out Derek's post-match analysis. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. It's very impressive stuff, Derek. You're put on the spot then and there, and for 5 sort of 10 minutes, some excellent stuff. So check that out.
I thought you were going to say if any folk are into cows there for a minute. I was getting worried where that was going.
Aye, I've known a few cows in my time, Derek. Oh.
Was that the noise they made?
That was the noise they made.
Aye, I just said that.
Did you?
Aye, I just said, and that's what you were. Christ almighty, man. Echo. Fish flakes. Fish flakes.
Right, sorry, on you go.
Yeah. So on that note, with Dave's mooing and not listening clearly, we'll say goodbye and thanks for listening. Bye.
Yes, goodbye, folks. Take care, and we'll speak soon.